December 7th, 2021 is the release date for Dying Light 2, so this is really good. Really good, let me tell you. I've been looking forward to this day, just like the actor, has said himself that he's been looking forward to saying this for a long time. It's great. I think honestly, Techland did a really good job with today's presentation. Honestly, following up Sonic, I think, did a really good job in their 14 minutes, and I think Dying Light 2 did everything you probably could have asked for. The interview stuff isn't necessarily for everybody. It's not even necessarily for me, but you learn things through those interviews, and we saw a pretty substantial gameplay. They call it gameplay trailer, gameplay presentation, I would argue, where you get to see several minutes of not just gameplay, but explanation of what's going on in this game. And then obviously capped off with the release date, with more episodes of this Dying to Know, with all this stuff, with the collector's edition and the statue and all that stuff that you get. So I'd say, once again, second time today, hopefully Horizon can be the trifecta. Hats off to Techland. I think they did an incredible job. So I know I kind of summarized it. Obviously, we'll go over my impressions of everything as this video goes on, but if you guys are new here, make sure as always you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I've covered Dying Light 2 quite a bit. I'm obviously going to be continuing it over the next several months, including obviously when the game comes out. So again, subscribe, bell icon, hit the like button if you guys do like this video, and then also join our Discord if you guys haven't already. A link for it is always in the description below. Great group of people there willing to talk about pretty much everything, which includes obviously Dying Light 2. So yeah, look, let's start with the release date. It's obviously the biggest thing. Thank God, thank Jesus, actually, thank whatever higher power you want to thank today, because I think we were all feeling good about it. This morning, there were leaks of December 7th, as well as a date in November. So the November one obviously turned out to be fake, but there were two separate leaks that said, release dates of the game. So I was going in, not knowing which one was necessarily going to be true, but very much expecting. It was hopeful yesterday, I would say, but going into, waking up today, it was, all right, I really think you got to set the bar at your expecting release date. And then for them to hold it on you, right? And because they kept saying, like, we'll talk more about it over the coming months, I was like, oh shoot, maybe that's kind of, lingo, kind of, secretive talk of like, well, we're not ready to give the release date next. But once they said like one very important question, like something that's very important, obviously the release date, I was like, okay, thank Jesus, right? So December 7th, we've had games come out in that early December period before. I see nothing wrong with it. Obviously, it comes out right after that Black Friday, that holiday kind of season, but I don't think it's going to slow the game down. I think the game is going to do just fine. The game is going to sell extraordinarily well. And again, just to see an actual date. We've had year dates that they've promised us before, but it's great to finally see a date attached. So, December is not that far away, right? We only got around 6 or so months, say a little bit more than 6 months to go, but it immediately becomes one of my most anticipated games. It always was, whichever year it was going to come out. It became or becomes or whatever one of my most anticipated games, right? If Horizon can, again, finish it off, Horizon can come out this year. We've already had some pretty good games that have come out in 2021, and then obviously this game as well. So hopefully it nails it. And then in terms of the gameplay, it's tough for me to talk about the gameplay, right? Because I'm doing it after the fact, and maybe a live reaction would have been better, but it just looks good. It just looks really good. I'm not really good at, I would say, doing like deep dives into these kind of gameplay mechanics, but I'm very impressed with what they showed off. Dying Light definitely elevated what they were trying to do, and in fact, they talked about that with the whole parkour stuff, like making that parkour system and lifting the restrictions of how you're able to move and interact and all that stuff. It's not a press of a button. It's very difficult. So the fact that they managed to pull it off, like the guy said, right, they're very happy about that work, and to do it again here, but to double things, to double the animations and all that stuff. I love it. I love that. I guess, to boil it as simply as I can, that's kind of what I like about it, because to boil it as simply as I can, the game is basically simple. There's not too much confusion. Sometimes when a game gets announced or you're talking about all the mechanics of a game, it can get pretty confusing. There's a lot going on with Dying Light 2. There's a lot they've explained, but none of it's really difficult. It's I would say probably nonstop fun. You're constantly moving, you're constantly doing things. There's danger in the day, but it's a different kind of danger than danger at night, right? Different ways of handling situations, both, again, depending on night or day, handling different groups and shaping the world and shaping how the ending is going to go and how missions go and who likes you and how does that, depending on which group you kind of more align yourself with and the groups you hurt, how is that going to impact the world in terms of how you deal with dangers, right? It's pretty simplistic. And I mean, I think Dying Light 1, obviously kicked that off. And I appreciate games that are able to do that. And I think this is a really good example of a game that does have a lot going on. I think there's always going to be a lot of things going on in Dying Light 2, but it's very just pitched, like a pitched idea to us, to the audience, to the consumer, I think is really good. So I am, as you guys can tell, I get excited for a lot of games. I think that's kind of why we can relate. I'm not a talking head. I'm not, an IGN figure who actually secretly hates games, but they write for it anyway. I'm not like that. I genuinely love all sorts of games, and I get excited for tons and tons of games. I'm very excited. I really am. I'm very, very excited for this game. It looks so good. I love parkour. I love Mirror's Edge. So I love that kind of traversal mechanic. The gameplay looks solid. It doesn't look like outrageously good, but I like that it changes depending on what, if you're going to go more parkour and movement, then that's kind of your fighting style. If you're going to go a little bit more heavy, that's your fighting style. I like that. It doesn't look like the greatest thing of all time, but it doesn't have to be, right? It just needs to be solid. And then all that really is left is the story, the characters, getting you to like these characters, even though different things can happen in different branches, getting you to like the main character, even though it's first person, right? Same thing kind of with Ethan in Resident Evil. It is more difficult to like a character when you cannot see anything, you can't see their facial expressions, right? It makes it very difficult. I think they did it with Dying Light 1 though, so I really think they can pull it off for Dying Light 2. So Dying Light, is it Dying Light 2 Stay Human, or is it Dying Light Stay Human? Whatever it is, I'm very excited for it. Very excited for it. So let me know, guys, in the comments below, what'd you think? What were some of the positives? Anything that maybe you'd want to pick on from what you saw today? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. As I said, I'll be covering Dying Light 2 quite a bit as the months go on, and obviously when the game releases. Join our Discord in the description below, as well as all my other social media stuff is down there as well. Thank you for watching. Horizon video, I will be covering Horizon later today in just a few hours. It won't give a notification, but I do hope to see you guys there.